This month marks my 5-year debt-free anniversary where I paid off $200,000 of debt in under 2 years. The last video I watched my debt-free announcement video, which was very, very emotional for me. I'm still residually emotional, okay? Now in this video, we're gonna talk about the methods I used to get out of debt. Full disclosure, just because these methods worked for me doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna work for you. So take whatever I say, whatever I share today with a grain of salt and tweak it if you need to. I had to tweak my methods multiple times. The very first method I use, and frankly, I think I would credit my success to this method, is my budget planner. If you are a subscriber of this channel, you are no stranger to me and my planner. This is my Bible. This is the love of my life. This is where my entire life is, from not only my financial goals, but my personal goals, my work goals, my weekly to-do lists, my weekly budgets, my quarterly goals, monthly overviews. Everything is all in this planner. I have just found that I retain information better writing things out versus using an app. I get a lot of flack for using a planner actually, because obviously it's not the most efficient thing to do. And I'm actually gonna talk about an Excel spreadsheet and an app later in this video. But for me, what I found is when I physically write out my budget, I can actually take responsibility for those purchasing decisions versus an app. It's very passive. So if you are like me and apps are just a little bit too easy, too passive, I would recommend writing out your budget and writing out your kind of financial journey. So originally, before I built this planner, I wrote out my financial budgets and my debt-free flowcharts in my passion planner. And this is actually my debt-free flowchart for my very last, I think it was $150,000 grad school student loan debt. Being able to track, especially debt goals, debt freedom goals this way, I found to be very helpful because it was literally like a game. Because when you just pay your debt online and then you see the balance go down, it's it doesn't hit. It's those kind of frustrations of no immediate gratification that can really hinder your debt-free journey because it's hard. It's a years long journey. I just built a debt-free plan for someone and she is going to pay off her debt in 4 years, and that is a journey. And you need something that you can get even a little bit of excitement over, and I found that building a debt-free flowchart like this was the solution for me. Every time I highlight it, it was like a game, right? I won something. Even though I didn't actually win something, being able to highlight was my prize. As the months go on and as the years go on, this page starts to become a beautiful highlighter painting. A debt-free flowchart is one of the more underrated kind of debt payoff tools because it's a stupid flowchart, right? But it really does excite me to see a debt payoff go. And in fact, I still use a flowchart for my financial goals because I know how encouraging it can be. So while this isn't a debt-free goal, these are savings goals and investment goals, I can still see the progress that I'm making via the highlighter on my page. I don't know, man. Y'all need to get on the debt-free flowchart. The next method I used to get out of debt was honestly the snowball method. I've done a ton of videos on the snowball method. I've done a comparison video about a snowball method versus an avalanche method. If you are unfamiliar about what a snowball method is, it's a debt payoff theory, I guess, where you pay off the debt with the smallest amount first and then the largest amount until you're completely debt-free. And that worked for me because, again, I had that large $150,000 debt that the fact that I was able to pay off my first debt within a month and my second debt within a few months, that gave me the confidence I needed to tackle these larger debts. We talked about the snowball method. We talked about my budget planner. I guess now we can talk about apps. While again, I prefer my daily budgeting to be in a planner. There are some things in which I use apps for financially that make a huge difference. The first app I want to talk about is actually Ally, and Ally is a bank. And specifically, I want to talk about their savings buckets. When I was getting out of debt, I saved up for laser hair removal. And I did that, one, using my flowcharts that we talked about, but I also put my money in the high yield buckets. A bucket is basically a savings account, but you can open little buckets to where you can save a certain amount of money for a certain goal. I just like that I can have one savings account, but I can put money aside in certain buckets for certain things. So even when my main goal was getting out of debt, I still had smaller goals, like I said, like getting laser hair removal or saving up for a nice restaurant. And the last method I used while I was getting out of debt was actually an Excel spreadsheet. So I did use an Excel spreadsheet. I just prefer my budget planner, y'all, okay? Look, this is my budget in 2018 and it covers the entire year. But it tracked my income, it tracked my monthly responsibilities, and then my grown stuff like savings, tracking my student loan debt, saving for taxes and stuff, and then kind of just other miscellaneous spending. So I did use an Excel spreadsheet, but I have an updated version of it, okay? I have a more adult updated version that we have been working on for over a year. I mean, look at how nice and grown up this Excel spreadsheet looks. This is exactly the same thing as my old budget spreadsheet, just a little bit more organized. We have categories, income, expenses, savings, and investments that you can just change the name to, and then that will automatically adjust in your daily tracker, which is all your daily spendings that you'll manually input. It really is kind of like a commitment to continue to be financially healthy, right? And to be financially responsible. But if you make it a routine, it is more enjoyable that way. Again, this versus this is crazy. The difference is crazy. But what I really like about this template versus the 2018 template is that now we have a visual breakdown. And this is my favorite page, or maybe it's scary, but this is my favorite page. It's just seeing it in a graph. I didn't have a graph in the early days of my, debt-free journey, but it is pretty cool to see kind of just like where your majority spending is. So like most of us, I'm sure the majority of our money is going to housing, and you can definitely see that here. I built this for MSTRPLN, which is my planner company. Since we aren't a physical planner company anymore, everything is going to be digital. So get your undated planner now before they sell out, because it's going to be the last of them. But if you're interested in learning more about this Excel spreadsheet, I'll go ahead and link this in the description box, as well as the other apps and everything else that I'm talking about, so you can make like an educated decision about what methods that I use that you want to bring on into your financial journey to see what works best for you. I understand there is a lot to choose from. I found that the more I can just be more comfortable about where my money is going, the more I can hold myself accountable, and the faster I can accomplish these goals, whether it's a savings goal, investing goal, or a debt payoff goal. So again, it's chaotic, but I too am chaotic, but that's just what works for me. So maybe you don't need all of these methods, but I do recommend at least one of them. Lukey is the man that inspired my debt-free journey. You changed my life, bud. But yeah, that is kind of just like a quick overview of the methods, all the methods I used to get out of $200,000 of debt in 2 years, and what I still use to this day to make sure that I don't go completely off the rails. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.